for the ride home in ENC.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
This is your 5 o'clock drive with Patrick Johnson.
Holy mackerel!
More news, more interviews, more ECU stories than you can shake a stick at. Hey, stop shaking that stick. This is the Patrick Johnson Show.
Pirates win! Pirates win!
On 94.3 The Game.
All right, hi everybody. Nice to be with you here on this final day of April.
Do it live.
That's right.
Do it live.
Doing it live today. Good to have you along. It is our concert on the Common taking place this afternoon, and it is out this year at the ECU Tailgate Plaza, which is the former site of the Scales Fieldhouse, Dowdy Ficklin Stadium beside the Town Bank Tower. And there will be food trucks. There will be all kinds of beverages. Our friends from Pepsi are going to be serving things up. So, and also there will be beer. So all of that out there tonight. We will head out there in just a little bit. A couple of house cleaning notes for tomorrow and next week. The triumphant return of the one and only Ben B-Baby Byram.
Hey now.
Yeah. How about that?
Hey now.
Yeah, Ben B-Baby Byram tomorrow back on the show. Ben, longtime producer and personality on 94.3 The Game. He'll be on with us tomorrow on the program. Also, we're scheduled to have Brian Mull. We'll talk about the expansion of the NCAA tournament. Today, Amanda Christovich with Front Office Sports. Amanda's all over the place nationally and in different markets around the country, and we were able to secure her today. We've been trying to line up a time with her, so we'll have some of the latest news with Amanda Christovich a little bit later on today. Also, on Monday, I will be out. I've got business to attend to out of town, and we just could not make the logistics work to do a show and for me to be where I needed to be out of town, and it would have been a struggle to have gotten back to Greenville or anywhere else that we could have done the show from. So as opposed to pack up a bunch of gear, Pilk's going to host the show. Dom, I guess you'll be here. By the way, Dom Kasolki.
I think we're going to lose.
Dom is with us today.
Yes, I'm here today, and I'm here.
Are you going to be you'll be in Monday?
I'll be in Monday, so that'll be 3 weeks in a row on the Patrick Show.
Well, there you go. So Dom Kasolki will be in, and we're excited about that. So that's kind of the run of the road here. Dom, and I don't want to embarrass Dom, but you are you're graduating this weekend, right?
Yep.
That's all happening this week. Well, and you've already graduated. This is your master's.
Yep, graduating the master's, and I'm excited. I'm ready to get it done, and then I'm staying here at least another year around that time.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, so you can't get rid of me just yet.
Well, I am glad you are sticking around for another year because I know they certainly need you, Dom. And so are you doing as a post-grad, do you do the big ceremony?
Yeah, unfortunately.
University-wide?
My parents want me to go to that one. I wanted to just go to the 4 o'clock, specific major performance.
Sure. Where they call your name out and all that stuff.
That's the one that matters to me. The big one. I've already experienced the Dowdy Ficklin one, so I'm excited to get that over with.
Right. Well, and there's some controversy on campus from the academia side. Is it definitely going to be in the football stadium?
I was about to say something about that. I don't know. I see Mr. Beast set up all over Dowdy Ficklin right now, so I don't know. Why would he set it up before graduation to only do it a week and then have to take it down? I'm not sure what the plan is there.
He's got money to burn, Dom. That's why.
He does.
He's got money to burn.
He just put $1 million on Survivor last night. I don't know if you or any of your viewers watched that.
Like a Survivor pool or
Survivor,
TV show?
The TV show. He just went on it and put $1 million.
Oh, he went on it. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So.
Well, good for him. Way to get the brand out there to the older people who still watch Survivor, that are still kicking around.
I won't take into that dig.
Do you watch Survivor?
Yeah, I watch Survivor. A lot of people watch Survivor.
What? Not like they used to, Dom. That's such an early aughts thing. Boy, what an old soul you are.
I guess so.
I think this year they're claiming it's the 50th season, which is kind of bull. because they do these micro seasons.
Well, yeah, they do it twice a year. So, I mean, it is the 50th season, but it's the 25th year.
Okay, yeah. It's you don't spoil my mood, Dom. I don't want to hear about Survivor.
Not bad.
Yeah, that's all right. Would you compete on said show?
No. Heck no. That's not for me. I don't think I could handle it.
See, things have advanced beyond Survivor, Dom. Naked and Afraid, you got that now, and Deluxe Naked and Afraid, and you got Love Island. I mean, these are all...
You would watch those type of shows. Yeah, you would.
Survivor's passe. This is... You have stakes now. You're naked because you're naked to survive, or you're naked because you're getting naked on Love Island. That's all that's going... It's all about nudity now, Dom. That's what it's all about.
That is what sells. But it sells to people watching it like you, man. I'm not watching that crap.
I do. I haven't watched it in probably a couple years, but I haven't been known to on a Sunday, if there's nothing on, kick on a little Naked and Afraid just to sort of see what's happening. You know, if you've seen one, you've kind of seen them all.
Yeah, that's fair.
So that's kind of the, it's mindless. It's like the Below Deck stuff and all. I mean, it's just mindless entertainment. But I haven't watched any of that crap in years, so. And I can't say that I'm any worse for not having watched it. So perhaps better. Okay, so we've got a lot to get to here today. The other house cleaning item, I will be on softball all weekend on ESPN Plus. Courtney Layton, our dear friend, will be with me on the broadcast. They have moved the game up to 4 p.m. They have moved the game up to 4 p.m. and then moved the Saturday game to after the 4 p.m. game tomorrow. So a doubleheader tomorrow. It's, of course, senior weekend, and it will be East Carolina hosting UTSA. They still are planning for a noon first pitch on Sunday with the senior day. So they'll have a very unique situation of 2 games tomorrow, a day off Saturday with all the rain, which we do need coming. You just wish it wouldn't arrive on a weekend. And then it'll be a Sunday game, and then they'll have a couple of days. And then the tournament will begin in Greenville. All right, let's hit our top 5 at 5. Dom, am I playing the numbers, or are you going to play the numbers? I would like it if you'd play the numbers.
Yeah, I'm
not prepared to.
I'm always ready.
To do the whole thing?
Yeah, I'm ready.
This is why Kasulki is the premier producer
in
my book.
I think we're going to lose.
I don't know about all that,
we're
but
winning.
I'm ready.
We're winning today.
I think we're going to lose.
All right, play it, Dom. Hit it. Top 5 at 5.
This may very well be our last mission. Let's make it count.
This is the Patrick Johnson Show on 94.3 The Game.
It's impossible.
Now some stories you may have heard.
You ready?
Or catch it for the first time. This is your 5 at 5 with the P-Man.
Number 1, Carolina Hurricanes will be facing the Philadelphia Flyers in round 2 after the Flyers win in overtime last night 1-0 over the Penguins. The Hurricanes went 3-0-1 against the Flyers this year, and every game required either overtime or a shootout. It's still to be determined when the series will start, and this is the first playoff matchup between the two of all time.
So Carolina, I think, is clearly the deeper and more complete team, but Philadelphia right now is hot. They've got a hot goalie. They're playing with confidence. That goalie can steal games. How is it pronounced? Is it Vladar, Dan Vladar? As you mentioned, every meeting this season went beyond regulation, so this could be a really tight playoff series. And the fact that Philly did let up a couple of games before closing it out last night in overtime is at least they were kind of extended beyond the sweep. Because for a moment, I mean, for a hot minute, they were up 3-0 over the Penguins, the Pens. And that's when the Canes were going to Ottawa, and everybody was saying, you got to keep up with Philly. Looks like they're going to sweep the series. Well, Penguins won a couple, and then last night in overtime it was the Flyers. We'll get Mark Miller on this in a couple of seconds. He can regale us with that. But 3-0-1 was the record this year against the Flyers for the Hurricanes. Should Carolina win? They are elite, balanced, more of a top-tier, top-heavy kind of team. I would say yes, Dom. But this is we now reach the rounds where, and anything could happen during the Stanley Cup playoffs, but now we are reaching the round where truly it gets serious and anything can happen.
Yeah, hopefully your Carolina Hurricanes win the series. All
That's
yours.
what I'm hoping for, because I'm very much a mine. All right, go ahead, Dom. What's next?
Number 2.
NBA playoffs last night, and we had 3 series from yesterday that were all 3-2. The Pistons held on at home against Paolo Banchero's 45-point game. Cavs had a fourth-quarter run to take control against the Raptors, and the Rockets are giving the Lakers a run for their money after being down 3-0. So 3 Game 6s all confirmed later this week. Tonight, the Hawks and Knicks Game 6 at 7, Celtics and Sixers Game 6 at 8, and Nuggets and Timberwolves Game 6 at 9:30. And in other NBA news, the Portland Trailblazers are expected to move on from interim head coach Thiago Splitter despite a playoff appearance. Their new owner, Tom Dundon, who was the Carolina Hurricanes owner, won't increase Splitter's contract, leading to a new head coach search of who wants to be the lowest paid head coach in the league.
So famously with this and Dundon, I mean, he's pinching pennies, which is kind of crazy because the NBA throws a ton of money into this thing. The media deal, which is fresh this year, there's a lot of money. And it's, I guess, would we say frowned upon? I mean, he has run the Carolina Hurricanes in kind of a chintzy fashion, in a cheap fashion. And maybe that's not the most fair, but he's made cuts to areas to save some money. It's not like I don't think he's brought the water coolers out of the offices, but I mean he has done some things that save thousands here, thousands there, and it adds up. Apparently, they don't put the type of money into coaching staff that they have traditionally put in. Hang on a second, Dom.
Well, my opinion on it, I don't understand. Okay.
And so they have spent some money on players. They also have lined up ahead of the next round of collective bargaining, and were smart with how they did the contracts of some of these recent players. That's hockey. That's a whole different thing. You're not getting the same kind of money infused from the TV deal and from your revenue in hockey that you do with the NBA. Ticket sales are still a big part of the deal. And, of course, Carolina's got a big arena, and they sell a lot of tickets. So that helps. Apparently, he had offered the guy who's at St. Louis the job for $1 million, that, if you believe that report. And at St. Louis, the guy who coaches the Billikens. And he said, I'm making more in college for doing half the games. And I can go out and I have a new roster every year if I want. If I don't like the roster this year, I'll have a new one next year. You can't. So I've worked some very cheap places in my broadcasting career, and a lot of smoke and mirrors. And there is some of that because that's just the nature of the business on a certain level. But whether it's you can't cut your way to prosperity. You just can't. And so I just wonder at how the league is going to view this as far as someone who is going to pay an NBA coach very little money. I mean, what did the piece of article say there, that he wants to have the lowest paid coach in the NBA?
Well, it will be the lowest. Yeah, basically what he's offering is going to be the lowest paid coach in the NBA, which, you make so much money in revenue. I know you're the Trailblazers, but dude, these owners, it makes my skin crawl. Like, why not just pay up, man?
Well, it's not these owners; it's Dundon in this case. I mean, it's
in general.
It's strange that now, should he go out and hire a $10 million a year coach? No, probably not.
But we're not asking for that. Just pay the guy that just got you to the playoffs.
Yeah. And apparently, he wasn't going to settle for the small amount of money.
I don't blame him.
And, that's the other thing, too. It's been a tumultuous year with the Chauncey Billups deal that broke out before the season or early in the season. So it was an interim situation all year. You had new ownership. It's a little bit of a messy situation now in the Pacific Northwest. I don't really have anything to say on the games.
Okay.
So is there anything you want to say about any of the games tonight, Dom?
Well, obviously, being a Celtics fan, a little nervous. Didn't expect it to go to 6 games, but I think they can get it done. Just can't shoot your way out of the game going on a 33-11 run on the wrong side of it. And then a game from last night, Rockets and Lakers. It's kind of interesting. This could very well be a case of the first 3-0 comeback ever. It's going to come close because the Lakers' offense does not look great. They just added Reeves back, but it doesn't look like it's enough right now. They really, really need Luka, and the Rockets are starting to fire on a lot better of their shots than they were early in the series. So it's looking rough for the Lakers.
Next.
Number three,
we got the East Carolina women's lacrosse team is set for the semifinal round of the American Conference Championship, taking on number 25 James Madison at 8:15 tonight in Nashville's First Bank Stadium. The stakes for this game: Pirates win, and you're in the American Conference. With a loss, the season will come to an end.
James Madison is really good in lacrosse, women's lacrosse. They're always in the top 20, top 25, 25th ranked this year. And they finished second in the American Conference. The Pirates have never beat JMU. They've met 4 times since 2023, and they are 0-4 in those contests. What a way to break through tonight and get a victory in essentially the conference semifinals that would propel you to the conference championship game. We'll see if they get that opportunity. It'll be tough for sure. Pirates did go 6-1 at home this season, but as you noted, Dom, this ain't home.
No.
This is Nashville, Tennessee. A little bit of breaking news here for you, Dom. Hang on real quick.
All right, let's hear it.
Breaking news sounder before we do our fourth one.
Everyone, a little breaking news for you.
Always anonymous text line. They are doing graduation in the stadium. There was some scuttlebutt of that this morning on Talk of the Town is the reason I wondered. It's going to change how the seating is done regarding the graduation. All right, well, thank you to the Always anonymous text line in there. All right, Dom, what do you have for us for the next one?
444.
Number 4, Amazon and Duke University today announced a multi-year agreement for Prime Video to present exclusive coverage of Duke's storied men's basketball program. The agreement marks Prime Video's first college sports relationship, and starting this fall, they will present 3 marquee Duke Blue Devils neutral site non-conference games per season. Those 3 games this year: UConn on November 25th, Michigan on December 21st, and Gonzaga on February 20th. So 3 big games that will all be televised on Prime. They're starting to get their hands in the sports world.
So we're going to talk to Amanda Christovich a little more about this coming up next segment from sports, from Front Office Sports, covering the business of sports. And these are marquee games. Duke and UConn, that'll be in Vegas leading into the Thanksgiving holiday. Michigan at Madison Square Garden, a matchup or a rematch of their great game that they played in February this past season. And that'll be right before Christmas. And then Gonzaga will play the Blue Devils in Detroit on February 20th. So we'll get some more details on this. I think it's interesting that this deal has been done, but not done with the ACC or not done with the NCAA. I mean, Duke, and whenever you hear someone talk about, teams that are going to leave the SEC and go to the Big Ten or the SEC, you have to consider Duke, because Duke's got a ton of money. Got more money than the good Lord. And their basketball program draws pretty high numbers. It's the highest rated one in the country every year. And they are willing to spend some money on football. Doesn't mean that they're going to have this great successful football deal, even though they're the defending conference champs, but they have money and they spend money. This is a pretty unique deal. We're going to talk to Amanda Christovich about that coming up. All right, what do you got for us here?
5.
We've got Mark Miller on the line. Let's talk to him.
Okay, it is the concert on the Common tonight. It has got a change in venue this year. but it is opening with Craig Woolard and the Embers. Mark, take it away with what's happening tonight with Concert on the Common, the maiden voyage of 2026.
Yes, sir. What's going on, Patrick? It is a beautiful, picture-perfect evening. Now, we had some clouds earlier, a little bit of sprinkles. That is all out of the picture. And nothing, like, not hot, not cold. It's just, we're ready on this brand-new venue. You know where Town Bank Tower is, Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium. Right to the side of it is this beautiful tailgate plaza that we are set up in. All the sponsors are here. We've got the food trucks here as well. And we've got Craig Woolard and the Embers, which you can't beat as a kickoff to this particular Concert on the Common season. It gets the juices flowing knowing we got live music coming up in just a few minutes. Plenty of spaces for seating. Get here with your lawn chairs, and you are going to see one heck of a show.
Now, this is not the most pleasant conversation piece, but there's a lot going on within the state. Well, I know, but stick with me here, Mark.
Okay, yeah.
This is the there's something going on within the confines of the stadium and the Mr. Beast organization and all that. But as far as restroom facilities, the stadium will be open, from what I understand, and then they'll have some other facilities available. So there's plenty of that to. In fact, it may even actually be a better situation than the Town Common.
Well, we love the Town Common. We love going out there. That is a great vibe as well. But when you talk about needing to pivot and coming up with a great plan B, I don't even want to call it that because this really is set up well. The bathrooms underneath the stadium are right there for us. We can also use Minji's. Like, you got to pee, you're taken care of. I'm just, everybody drink as much as you want because there's great drinks here, right? Our friends from Coastal Beverage being here. But also just, don't worry about it. If you got options.
There will be beer served by the Junior League, Coastal Beverages you mentioned there, and then I understand our friends from Minji's Bottling Group and Pepsi will have the Pepsi prebiotic that they're going to be sampling tonight.
I got Coastal Beverage here, the beer and the wine, Sup Crushes from our friends at Sup Dogs, and Crush Vodka here as well. It's going to be terrific, man. It's that scene. It's that vibe we miss it when this season is not happening. It's such a fun time. Friends, people meeting for the first time, community just getting together under the umbrella of music and just food and drink and fun. And it's a free show, so you just can't beat it. What else are you going to do tonight? Come on.
It's 6 o'clock, and no coolers, please. There will be beverages, as Mark just outlined there. And there are food trucks, right, Mark?
There are food trucks, yeah, and they're just I could throw something at a food truck and hit it. Like, I'm standing in the middle of this concert. I could throw something at a food. I won't throw something at a food truck, but if I had to, I could easily hit it. And you've seen my arm strength. It's terrible. Even I could hit it. That's how close everything is right now. It's terrific.
Yeah. So they got great food trucks there, many of them, and parking. You can either come in off of Berkeley, which is the scoreboard side of the stadium, that street there between Elmhurst and the scoreboard at Dowdy-Ficklin, or you could turn in off of Charles at the baseball stadium and come around the traffic circle. But anyway, the Burt family lot is where the parking is going to be tonight.
And there's plenty of it, and you're not walking too far to get where you need to be. It's a really convenient setup, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's really great, and this is where the Concert on the Common will be taking place this year because of work being done to the bulkhead at the Town Common. All right, 6 o'clock tonight, Craig Woolard and the Embers. Very quick, Mark, tell us any great giveaways from 107.9 and IBX Media tonight?
Oh, absolutely. So we have a prize wheel, and we have a bunch of things on this wheel, anything from T-shirts to some gift cards, things of that nature. But also, we've got this Team Boneyard merch at a separate tent right next to our tent. And we have some of those things where you can spin to win them. But these are really cool things, like cool hats, cool shirts. You take a look at them. A lot of people are around town wearing them. And you can just buy those. With that money, will go straight to the athletes. That's part of the NIL revenue share. the Purple and Gold Society is where your money's going to be going if you would like to buy some very stylish gear. We have it for you.
Awesome. Hey, Mark, thanks a lot. I know you got a lot to do there, but enjoy the show tonight. It's at 6 o'clock. It's Craig Woolard and the Embers, and we're looking forward to that. Thanks a lot.
Absolutely. Wait a minute. We have so much Philly sports to talk about. We don't have time?
I know, but I was told we had a hard out with you at 5:25, and we got a guest. So
I got you. Yeah. Well, I'm sure all my teams will have lost by the next one, so we'll talk about it then.
All right. See you, Mark. There he goes.
Take care, bud. All right, bye-bye.
The great Mark Miller from 107.9 with us here. All right, let's hit a break, and when we return, we're going to get Amanda Christovich from Front Office Sports as our guest. You are tuned to the Patrick Johnson Show.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers in Greenville, plus the all-new Tiebreakers in Winterville. Do real burgers better than anybody. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, real burgers at its best.
Everybody loves burgers.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt and Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro-adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt and Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Healthwise Pharmacy rounds the bases with all of your infusion, retail, compounding, and medical equipment needs. Locally owned and operated by pharmacist Marcy Parker, Healthwise has grown to be your most trusted provider for infusion services. Currently providing in-home or on-site infusions in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. Visit Healthwise Pharmacy at 615B South Memorial Drive or call 252-295-0059 to speak to a patient service representative to find the option that best suits your needs.
In this age of globalization, we've learned that bigger isn't always better. Ever tried to get phone help from a big corporation from a real person? Right. That's what's so nice about Phelps Chevrolet. After more than 50 years serving our community, Phelps remains family-owned and operated. Mike, Daryl, Wave, West, Alan, and Clay deliver hometown service and integrity, same as always. They share your experience, they share your values, and they are ready to help with any motoring need. Come get you one.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human. About creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
Make every day electric on the Kawasaki Electro 20 electric balance bike. Maximize the fun with long run times, impressive top speed, and Kawasaki build quality. Easy adjustability and smooth handling make everyday riding more enjoyable. And the standard MTB type tires provide off-pavement capability. The Kawasaki Electro 20 is the electric balance bike that's built to rip. Go to Ron Ayers Motorsports, Memorial Drive north of the airport, Greenville.
To the show.
I missed you. We all missed you. Did you miss him?
This is the Patrick Johnson Show on 94.3 The Game.
Amanda Christovich from Front Office Sports joining us here on the program this afternoon. Much to talk about with her, including a little bit of some brand new news for you. We like to call it, in some cases...
Everyone, a little breaking news for you.
That's right. Breaking news for you. Hello to Amanda Christovich, by the way. I hope you're doing well.
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me. And I like the breaking news sounds.
All right, here we go.
Everyone, a little breaking news for you.
I mean, yeah, look, I know you make the rounds on these national programs and big-time major market they're nothing like that. They have nothing like that. in their
No,
arsenal
nothing.
like we do.
Nothing.
All right. Duke University, its Department of Athletics, its basketball program, and Amazon have come to an agreement. Give us the deets on this, please, Amanda.
So here's what we know now. I believe it's a 3-year agreement, and Duke will be broadcast on Amazon Prime Video for starting next year. I guess it's 3 games that are played during the non-conference portion of the season. So basically, like, these types of games are not, the ACC owns all, or the media rights that all the schools have, and they sell it to ESPN, right? But these non-conference games, sometimes there's some wiggle room there. And according to the announcement, ESPN and the ACC and Duke were able to work together to sort of broker a deal where, in exchange for allowing Amazon to broadcast these games, which includes the Duke-UConn rematch, Duke will do, appear in other games during the non-conference portion of the season that ESPN owns and operates and broadcasts. So those are sort of the bare bones of the details of this deal as we know them right now.
All right. We'll pause here for a second because, Pilk, I want you to sound off on this. How do you feel about this, Pilk?
I think it's good. Obviously, I'm not a huge fan of the...
Whoa! Right. You were just complaining last week about the streaming.
Look, I'm complaining about the streaming. Do not get me wrong. But in the era where you've got to pay the athletes right now, hey, if this is going to bring in more revenue to pay the athletes to stay ahead of Carolina, to keep Carolina as little brother right now, I'm okay with it. Also, no postseason games need to be on this like they are doing in the NBA tonight with my Celtics. No, that's stupid. But stuff like this, you got 2 games in November, one in November, one in December, one in February. They're doing that Gonzaga game. It seems like John Shire's kind of keeping that consistent, something Kay used to do back in the day with a late, big-time out-of-conference game. I'm okay with it. It's going to bring in the moolah, and you can keep getting players from overseas, from FC Barcelona to come in and, be your big-time recruit and start at center.
All right, here it is.
Everyone, a little breaking news for you.
You know what the breaking news is now, Amanda? Pilkington has done a 180 on streaming. He's done a 180 on streaming.
It helps your team. You're all for it.
Well, that's the thing. You can handle some consumer frustration if there's the hope that your program will have more NIL dollars, right? And isn't that just the way of the world these days?
I do find this interesting. As opposed to going to the ACC or going to the NCAA, it was an individual deal that was kind of brokered here. And I wonder if that's the play with Amazon and maybe Netflix and Apple ultimately is, instead of dealing with the messiness of a conference, maybe they'll do individual deals with certain schools. Could you see that happening?
Well, I think that, yes, but I would also say in addition to that, Prime Video really lost the opportunity in the last round of media rights to get into college sports. There are no major college sports rights that are going to be up until 2030. So this is really their only opportunity. I think it's a smart way to sort of dip their toes in and see how things do from, like a ratings perspective, right? And obviously they can try to do more of these if more high-profile programs are willing and interested, right? Like, this only works for, like, a top 10 team, in my opinion, right? Like, otherwise, this is not lucrative or good for a network rating.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I do think so. And then on the school side, look, this ACC deal is locked in as well, and it's not the most lucrative of all the power conferences. And so if you're a school, if you're trying, if you can't get out of that deal, you are looking for a way to sort of add on some cash, right? And this is an opportunity. Now, not every scenario is there going to be a network and a conference who are willing to make this concession. but it doesn't surprise me the SEC did so, given that, or advocated to do so, given that there is so much drama around their media deal, and they are so, concerned about keeping the conference together.
Amanda Christovich, Front Office Sports. Yeah, I mean, in the ACC, if you are a certain school, you could say, we're going to do whatever we want, and the ACC will be, okay, fine, you can do it.
Well, if you notice, PJ, these are all neutral site games. Not like they can play a home game in Cameron and do this.
Right. Exactly.
But
exactly.
Also,
that's the other thing.
But also, it is, interesting to me that, like, I think if you're one of the lower ACC teams, you go, hey, we'd like to do this. Okay, we don't have to deal with it. You go do it. I mean, the ACC and living here in ACC country, if that's such a thing now, is just, I don't know, it's a little bit of a train wreck. So let us shift gears to stay in college hoops, but to the expansion of the tournament. This will involve both the men and women's tournament. It's been talked about hotly in the last 48 hours. What is your take on it, and what are you hearing from people in your space that cover the business side of this?
I mean, my take on it is that, look, we were all told growing up, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I love 68, the field of 68. I love the first four. I as from a purely sort of human stamina perspective, expanding playoffs always concerns me as someone who has to cover them, because I'm like, okay, well, how many more weeks do I have to be able to do that? Be operating on this sort of like nonstop postseason coverage, gear that I shift into. And I have that fear about the CFP expansion as well. So that's just like my internal personal thoughts. But the actual big question I have from like a professional perspective is, speaking of money, is there going to be extra money here? Because a year ago, we reported that the contracts, and this has been confirmed, the contracts for both the men's and the women's tournaments, the media rights contracts, have stipulations that say if the tournament expands during the lifetime of these media rights deals, the media partners are not obligated to offer more money for that extra inventory. So there was this big question about, okay, well, if you're going to expand the tournament, the NCAA has to spend more money to operate those extra games, right? And that's not cheap, because they're paying for charter flights, they're paying for hotels, they're footing that bill for the schools that are participating in these tournaments. It's expensive, right? Not to mention all the other logistics involved. So how are you at the very least even going to cover your operating expenses if you're not getting more media rights dollars? ESPN reported that they have come to some sort of agreement where there will be a modest increase in media rights fees that would cover the value of these extra games and then a little bit more. There was then CBS reported that the money would come from extra sponsorships. We're still working on figuring out what exactly this extra money is, how much it is, but I still am very skeptical that it's anything sizable, given that contractually, the networks were not obligated to pay one penny more for these extra games, and probably for good reason, because these extra early round games usually are not very valuable from an inventory and ratings perspective for the networks. So I just don't think that the NCAA had a good negotiating position to begin with here.
Again, in the vein of the ACC, which is letting anybody do whatever they want, I think the NCAA is saying, okay, we'll pay out the extra units if it creates a little more harmony, among the SEC, Big Ten, and to a lesser extent the Big 12, ACC, and maybe even the Big East. So I think that's probably part of the deal there. Interestingly enough, do you know? And you may not. Could those extra games be bid out to a streamer or bid out to somebody else?
I mean, that's such a good question, because obviously that's what the CFP did. I don't know if that is possible, but if the networks really wanted to do that, I don't see why not. You know, like, because the networks can then own the rights, and then it's like they have the ability to sublicense these deals, and it's a sublicense where, like, the network still owns the rights. They're just subleasing it out to another network. So theoretically, you could do that. I haven't heard that would be the case, you know. And then you also have to keep in mind, you know, the Paramount merger that is about to happen is going, you know, with CBS and Warner Brothers, is going to create a whole new sort of situation, and it's sort of unclear how those rights for specific games would be divided up when, you know, all these properties have merged into one conglomerate, but the media rights deal stipulated different channels get different games. Is that for the men? Is that still going to be the same? I'm not sure. So I think there are a lot of questions surrounding that they would have to figure out before a sublicense could be possible. But, like, on the women's side, ESPN could definitely sublicense those games, I think, like, because they've already done that. So,
well, they'd also probably just be as happy to put it on their networks or Plus or this Unlimited, which, by the way, speaking of the ACC, the CW is going to start streaming on the Unlimited platform.
Mm-hmm.
So that could very well be the case there. Do you know anything about that deal, or have you heard anything about that deal? Is there any money changing hands on that, or is that just the ACC and the CW working out a deal with ESPN?
You know, I'm not 100% sure. I wasn't able to really look into that deal, or I haven't been able to yet. But I guess, like, my initial reaction when I saw it, without any inside information, was just that it sort of is this weird, like, back and forth of, like, we have this, you know, we have these rights as ESPN that we bought from the ACC, and we're giving them to the CW, but then the CW is going to come back under our umbrella. Like, it's just very, like, incestuous, for lack of a better term. Like, I'm not really sure. Like, it's like money's going back and forth, media rights are going back and forth. Like, I don't even, like, you know, obviously there is some sort of financial and exposure upside. Otherwise, they wouldn't do this. But I don't know off the top of my head what it is, because I just feel like we're playing ping pong with these rights. You know?
Yeah. Amanda Christovich, Front Office Sports. So the other big story as of earlier in the week, this was bandied about. So those athletes who exercise their eligibility effective at the end of this academic year will not be granted a fifth year of eligibility. But that seems to be moving forward. Where is that right now within the NCAA framework, and what ultimately is going to happen as far as the timetable?
It's hard to say, because the NCAA has just sort of redone its governance structure, and so theoretically this is legislation that they're trying to fast track. And so the assumption that we all have is that this legislation, if it, you know, makes its way through, it jumps through all the hoops it needs to jump through, it would be completed and effect before next season, you know, like by the end of the summer. And I think that the evidence for that is not only that, you know, the NCAA said they're trying to fast track certain legislation, but the fact that they've made a statement about what would happen for eligibility for players who, you know, are finishing up for this season, right? And, like, they clearly, like, this legislation is going to be implemented so quickly that there are players who are seniors now or who have exhausted their eligibility now with the 4 seasons in 5 years current rule, who are going to be wondering whether or not they could be grandfathered in. Obviously, the answer to that is no. So I don't think that that's going to change. I think that the NCAA released that for a reason, because they don't, you know, a lot of those kids entered the transfer portal in the hopes that they might somehow get another year. It's, you know, I don't think the NCAA would have released that detail if they didn't feel like that was the way to go.
Where does now is the age requirement or you got to exercise. Well, I guess the age requirement is you have to exercise those 5 years after you graduate high school or your 19th, whichever comes first, kind of thing.
Right.
18th birthday,
right,
whatever
exactly.
it is. So is that still also a part of this package?
Yeah, it appears that sort of the general concept from a few weeks ago, whenever that was, when they put out this FAQ about the age-based eligibility of, when you finish graduating when you finish high school or when you turn 19. I think that's more for the international players, right? That's when your clock starts, and you have 5 years to complete as many seasons as you can. And the idea there is that, it's like there are going to be no medical red shirts. That's that was like the Trinidad Chambliss case, right? Is the medical red shirt and the lack of sort of an even playing field with which people have seen or thought that the NCAA is applying these waivers, and that is what has made them subject to litigation. So eliminating the medical red shirt, people have said, okay, but what if I get hurt? Like, that's not fair. And the NCAA sort of countered and said, well, you're going to have 5 years for 5 years of eligibility, whereas before you had 5 years for 4 years of eligibility. So you can still sit out a year, just don't call it a red shirt. Like, it just isn't anything. You're just going to have your 5 years. So you would still have at least 4, which is the same that you had before with the opportunity for a fifth.
Wow.
So that's all still part of the proposal, as far as we know.
And private equity has made an entree into college sports. Tell us about it.
Oh, yes.
Wait a minute. We've got it for you. Hang on. Here we go.
Everyone,
okay.
little breaking news for you.
All right, there you go.
That made me feel better. And I react to this not because I have a particular opinion about these deals. It's more just that reporting them is so frustrating.
Sure. No, I get it. Yeah.
But so anyway, the breaking news to report is that the Big 12
Everyone,
president.
little breaking news for you.
All right, let's do it one more time.
You said it. I'm sorry. Them's the rules.
It's okay. The Big 10, the Big 12 has agreed to take on a private capital investment from Redbird Capital Partners and Weatherford Capital, which, Drew Weatherford is probably a name that everybody recognizes, former quarterback. This is his firm that is working with Redbird to provide capital investment. There are 3 prongs to the deal, but before I get into them, let me put out the disclaimer that I was told. I mean, if the Big 12 could tattoo it on my forehead, they would. This is not a private equity deal. This is not a private equity deal, even though the firms that are involved are private equity firms. The reason is the Big 12 is not giving up any equity stake or ownership stake of the conference to these firms. It is also not giving them any sort of control over or a say in conference operations. So, that is usually what the terms are for a traditional private equity investment into a company, right? So the way it works is the Big 12 as a conference gets $12.5 million as a capital infusion. They take that money and they can reinvest it however they see fit in ways that they think are going to grow revenue for the conference overall, which is to say that they themselves could take that money to invest in another company, right? They have to pay that money back. There is a fixed rate of return that they will owe the private equity firms, but they're not giving up an ownership stake. Then there's a almost like a line of credit, a $30 million opportunity for every Big 12 school to take a capital infusion if they so choose. They will also have to pay that back, and the way that that's going to be done is through withholding conference distribution, portions of your conference distribution money at a fixed rate over the 5 years of this deal, kind of similar. As a school, you don't have to take the money, but if you feel like you need $30 million, 1-800-GET-CASH-NOW or whatever, take it, is basically what they're saying. And then the third component of the deal is basically this commercial, almost consulting partnership where Redbird is going to be helping the Big 12 source deals, whether they be sponsorship deals, whether they be, investing in companies or, other sort of things. Like they had that deal with Players Era. That's something that Redbird sourced for them informally. And so that's kind of what the deal is. It's very unique, especially in college sports. And obviously it is going to draw a lot of reaction just by the nature that private equity firms are involved, even though it's not an equity deal. But we'll have to see. I'm really curious to see which and how many schools take the $30 million, and what that might mean for the state of those schools.
So when you say they've got to pay it back, is this like in Goodfellas when the mob invested in the restaurant? It was like you had a bad month, blank you pay me. You had a fire in the kitchen, still blank you pay me. Is that how this still works? Like you've got to pay it back regardless of if it puts you in the red?
Well, the situation here for the schools, at least, is they don't have a choice about whether they pay or not because it's money that they're just never going to get. It's almost like wage garnishment in the sense that if they agree to take, how every year the conference gives each school an annual distribution based on the media rights package and whatever. So the way that you're paying the money back is that conference distribution is going to be diminished. Not by, an insane amount, right? But over the 5-year lifetime of the deal, that's how they're going to pay Redbird and Weatherford back, is that they are going to get fewer or a less amount of the conference distribution. So it's not really a Goodfellas situation because they're just never going to have that money to begin with. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Does this ultimately mean non-rev or Olympic sports are going to get cut?
Well, hopefully it would be the opposite, because an infusion of capital means that you have more money.
But you got to pay it back.
Yeah, but look, I can only tell you what the idea of this is supposed to be, which,
right.
which is that the idea is if you need cash now to save your Olympic sports or, pay your players or what have you, and you're really in a bind, this is like a decent fixed rate. I don't think it's the best fixed rate. I don't have the numbers because there was a bit of a negotiation that took place between when I knew what the numbers were versus now. But if you're a school with a good bond rating and you can borrow money at a 3 or 4% interest rate, I've been told that that's a better situation than to take this $30 million. But you might be a school that's in a lot of debt and doesn't have a good bond rating. So this might be a better option for you. So theoretically, you should not be cutting sports. You should not be laying off staff. This money is supposed to prevent that. But as we know, a lot of athletic departments are not very good at balancing their budgets. So we'll see what they do with the money.
Amanda Christovich, never a dull moment, front office sports. Great to have you on the program again, and I hope we'll get a chance to talk to you again really soon.
Yeah, anytime. Thank you so much for having me.
Great to have Amanda Christovich on. Thank you, Dom. And Concert on the Common coming at the top of the hour. We'll see you tomorrow. A fresh edition of the Patrick Johnson Show. Have a great evening, everybody.